we have witnessed the rise of Aljamain Funkmaster Sterling becoming the Bantamweight World Champion. And then his fall. With the move to featherweight, the question is, will he reach the top ever again? Is he past his prime? Is he the next victim of the Moroccan Devil, who holds an 8-fight win streak and has yet to suffer defeat since re-entering the UFC? Fight Fiend Forecast is here to break down the whole fight, giving you the forecast on the main event and each and every pick on this event. It's going to be an electric one. Let's get the party started. We're back, ready to attack at the Apex. And let's crack one, pour one, and have a bunch of fun once again. Before we get into the picks, smash that like button, suplex the subscribe button if you have not yet, body slam it. We're back, baby, and we were live for the whole main event in Canada. That was so fun with Prelim Tim, Arkansas, AJ, MMA, breaking down the fights, live reactions, commentary. It was electric. And this event at the Apex is going to be electric. The picks are going to get hot once again. Last week is behind us, and now we're focused on the future. And we got a good event headlined by Aljamain Sterling, Youssef Zalal, and we're starting it off with the first fight of the night on the prelims. It's a women's fight at 115 strawweight, and it's Talita Alencar and Julia Polastri. In this one, Polastri opens as the favorite, but the problem with this one, if she gets taken down, the underdog could look live, Talita Alencar. She is a high-level BJJ artist. She has some submissions on her record. Out of those 7 wins, you got to beware. She has 4 submission wins, 3 decisions with the grappling and wrestling. If she can get a takedown and get control, knock gas out, she could be a live underdog on this card. Women's MMA, Polastri has fought somewhat of the same level of competition, same strength of schedule. I think both fighters are kind of in the same range. Odds are a little wide, to be completely honest. You would want the plus money in your back pocket. Women's MMA, first fight of the night. I will side with the favorite, Julia Polastri. I think she can keep it standing and have the better cardio in this fight, which is what she is going to need to win the fight. She keeps it on the feet, keeps it striking. It's her fight to win. And I do believe she is the younger fighter by a couple years. I think the youth is in her back pocket. She has more experience, better on the feet. The question is, if she gets taken down and can't get back up, how will she look on takedown 2, 3, or will she get submitted? Can she defend those submissions? I'm going to say she can defend the submissions. I'm going to say she can get back to her feet, win this fight. But hey, women's MMA, you might want that plus money. Talita Alencar could be a live underdog at the Apex. The next one, we're breaking down Max Griffin, Victor Valenzuela. And Valenzuela, he's minus 110 in this fight. He lost on Dana White Contenders Series. He got knocked out in round 2. And this is a great fight for the veteran Max Griffin at a coin flip price tag. Victor coming in here, 34 years old, I do believe. He's not the youngest fighter. Oh, God. He's 32. He's 13-4. And his level of competition, his recent wins, aren't that high level. They're not UFC caliber. And Max Griffin is a tough guy to finish, let alone beat. His last loss was to Chris Curtis, split decision. And his recent loss 2 years ago, less than 3 years ago, was Michael Morales by unanimous decision. So Michael Morales couldn't even run through Max Griffin. Coming into the UFC at 32, 13-4 record, losing on Dana White's Contender Series. It's really a tough fight for him, but he's training at MMA Masters. It's a good gym, and I kind of lean his way in this fight. Max Griffin is 40. He lost his last 2 fights, and I'm just not sure if he still has enough in the tank, enough motivation, energy later in the fight to win this. So I'm going with Victor Valenzuela here, minus 110. He's 32 years old, making his debut. It's a tough one. I'm not going to bet it for sure. Tough spot, tough fight to call, to be honest. Could go either way at this price. It's a coin flip. Be very careful and cautious on this one. I wouldn't bet it, and I'm not going to be giving it out as a prop of the week Friday on the Prop Fiend Show. 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Every Friday we're live, giving out $50 to forecasters tuning in. So you got to be there. Friday, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. We got Jafel Filho next, 17-4 versus Cody Durden stepping in short notice. Filho was supposed to fight Lucas Rocha, and that one got scrapped. So Cody Durden steps in, and he just fought a month ago. Lost unanimously. Before that, he lost unanimously. No, he actually got submitted against Alan Nascimento the fight before that. So Tumen Dembril took him to unanimous decision. Cody Durden really did him dirty. The takedown defense was good enough from Tumen Dembril, and the striking was really good to win him the fight unanimously. In this fight, Filho is striking will be at the same level as Tumen Dembril or better. I think Filho is a much better fighter than the last three fighters that Cody Durden has faced, because what started the losing streak was the loss to Joshua Van. Since then, Cody's picked up 4 losses. It's tough to get behind him at 35 now. 32 on the other side, Jafel Filho. He put Muhammad Mokaev in a very tough position in his UFC debut. Came out after that, got 2 wins, and he finished both of them by submission. On the ground, I think Filho is the better grappler. Cody Durden's a good wrestler, but when it comes to BJJ and the submission upside, I lean Filho in this fight. He won 2 fights out of his last 5 by a submission, and Cody Durden lost 1 by a submission. I know it was Alan Nascimento, but Cody's been submitted before. Out of those 10 losses, he has 5 submission losses. So that's 50% of the time Cody Durden loses by a submission, and then you got to add on the 2 knockout losses. It's well over 50% of the time when Cody loses, he gets finished. So the official pick is Jafel Filho in this one. He should be a sizable favorite. I'm saying 5-1. Goes out here, wins by finish. Easy work. He's going to come in this fight well energized, 6-month layoff, well trained. He should have a good game plan to go out here and finish Cody Durden with ease. Should be a great fight for him, especially after the Clayton Carpenter fight, which was his last fight 6 months ago, coming off a win here. That was a beautiful Kimura win on the ground. So that's 3 submissions out of the last 4. For Jafel Filho. Out of the last 5, he suffered defeat to Alan Nascimento, decision, and Muhammad Mokaev, round 3, rear naked choke after nearly getting a knee bar. So Nascimento submitted Cody Durden somewhat easily. On the feet, Cody Durden's wild. He's hittable. I got to go Filho here. By finish. I'm locking it in. Next up, Bueno Silva. She's back. She's old in her career. And Michelle Montague is 7-0. She has not as much experience in the UFC. But it's kind of a winnable fight for her, although her level of competition isn't great. You know, Montague just fought a girl 4-2, 3-1, 4-2, debuting. These are her last 5 fights. Not the best level of competition. Not someone you want to be betting at minus 350. Obviously, Bueno Silva, 10-6, lost her last 4 fights. And Montague should be favored, but this is the toughest girl Montague has ever fought. Bueno Silva on the ground has a submission upside. Out of those 10 wins for Bueno Silva, she has 7 submissions. So 70% of the time she's grabbing that sub if she gets her hand raised. Montague's going for the wrestling. She has a couple submissions. Very low level competition. So I don't really think she's going to submit Bueno Silva in this fight, who lost her last 4 fights and 3 of them by a decision. The only time she got finished was a doctor's stoppage with a cut. I don't see the ground and pound from Montague opening up Bueno Silva in this fight. I don't see the submission for Montague in this fight. It has to be Montague by a decision as my pick for the bet. Bueno Silva might not be a bad lean. Women's MMA plus money. I said it at the very start of the show. First prediction. Might not be a bad look to bet on the plus money here. Bueno Silva might have some dog in her. Lost her last 4. Fought the better competition. She fought Jasmine Jazz Udavicius, Jacqueline Cavalcanti, and Raquel Pennington. Montague fought a girl 4-2, 3-1, debuting, and her last win was to Luana Carolina 11-4. UFC debut. I mean, damn. Minus 300, minus 400 is too big of a price for me to pay when betting. That's craziness in my opinion. This should be a close fight, a lot closer than the odds indicate. Montague's the pick by a decision. She's going to need that wrestling to work, and Bueno Silva to look just as bad as she did in her last 4 fights. But I have a weird feeling Bueno Silva's bringing out that dog, and she could bark. As someone who's been barking in the dog kennel, trying to escape home invasion is SD Dumas, Sedriques Dumas, and he's back in action versus Jackson McVey as a favorite. I leaned towards Dumas starting off, going into the research. Kind of thought he would have the length advantage, be the better fighter all around. But Jackson McVey, man, he has the finishing upside for sure. He's a lot faster on the feet, in my opinion, and he seems more dialed into the fight, where Dumas is kind of there. He's just there, and he's not really putting up much of a fight at all in his last 5. Whereas Jackson McVey on the LFA scene, he was looking phenomenal. He was finishing fighters with a Bravo choke, guillotine choke, knees and punches. He was really putting it together. His first 2 fights really didn't go his way in the UFC. He's 0-2 now, but Jackson McVey is favored. Off 2 UFC losses, I think he gets a dub here. SD Dumas is nothing special. He just got submitted to Dante Johnson, who was a wrestler, getting a lot of wins by ground and pound. Locked in his first submission versus SD Dumas. Dumas got knocked out to Olazechuk, and then he got handed Ruzoboev, where he got knocked out. Tough slate for SD Dumas, but his wins are by a decision. He's not doing a whole lot. He's just being the better fighter, landing more on the feet. And if they're standing and banging, Jackson McVey should be the better striker in this fight. He's going to land more, and he has a higher chance to get the finish. If he gets the fight to the ground at any point, I could see Jackson getting a submission win, especially how quick Dumas tapped in his last fight. In round 2, he started to gas out. He was just kind of there, and he tapped pretty quick. If Jackson McVey gets him in any kind of trouble on the ground, I could see the tap coming quick. Rather, if it's tight or not, I don't think SD Dumas is serious about being a fighter. He doesn't have a whole lot of skill. I'm going Jackson McVey, the Moose, for the win here. Pretty confident now after looking into research and knowing that McVey has yet to win a UFC fight. SD Dumas has 3 UFC wins already, 4 losses in the UFC. At this point, he could be taking it for granted. He's feeling comfortable. He's doing a lot of content right now, live streams, stuff like that, trying to stay relevant. He has no skill, and he's going to suffer defeat here. The Moose is coming for him. The Moose should have fought in Canada. This would have been a good fight in Canada. The Moose could have got some fans there. Canadian fans would have loved the Moose. They would have loved him. Prelim headliner, you gotta love Rodolfo Vieira in this spot over Eric McConico, who's new to the UFC and 10-4, not looking too great in the UFC. He has 1 win and 2 losses. I mean, shit. His win was a split decision to Cody Brundage. Shit. He's not too shitty, though. You know, if he can keep it on the feet or implement his game on the ground, he could sneak a win against Rodolfo Vieira, but Vieira on the ground is going to be on another level. It's on the feet where you have to worry about Rodolfo Vieira. He can keep fights close. He lost to Petrosky just in a greasy, slimy fight where the takedowns weren't too successful. And to be honest, the takedowns are too successful from Vieira anytime. He went 0 for 19 against Trayshawn Gore. Ended up winning the fight. His striking looked improved. Anyone better, he would have lost too. The takedowns are not accurate enough. He's not landing the takedowns. He can get control time. But the thing is, if he gets one takedown in this fight, it could be over. And that's how it's been with Rodolfo Vieira. He's not great at getting the takedowns, but if he can get a takedown, it's going to be soon over. He's so good on the ground. Black belt. It's got to be soon over if he gets it to the ground. I'm not too sure if he can get it to the ground easily in this fight. McConico's takedown defense is pretty good. Hard to count him out, but I would love to see him get submitted. I'd love to see Vieira get the submission win. So he's going to be the pick by a submission. He hasn't won by a submission in 2 years and 2 months. It's been a minute. McConico is still new to the UFC. I don't think he's UFC caliber. I think he can get taken down. I think the pressure is going to be too much from Rodolfo Vieira, and I expect him to be working on his takedowns a little bit, enough to get one or two versus a guy like Eric McConico, who went to a split decision with Cody Brundage, got knocked out to Ruzaboev and Susurkayev. Although he's held up in those fights, he didn't get knocked out as quick as I thought he would. I just don't think he can hold up too long. One takedown is all it's going to take from Rodolfo Vieira. Once he gets the takedown, he's going to be too much on the ground. On the feet is it's kind of sketchy. Eric McConico can make it close. I still favor Rodolfo Vieira, though. With the striking improvements, the small striking improvements, I favor him to win. The better experience is on the Rodolfo Vieira side. He is 36, but McConico's 35 and new to the UFC and not looking very good in the UFC. So yeah, at minus 250, Rodolfo Vieira's the pick. I'm leaning the sub. We just got to be a little careful, not parlay it on everything this week. Don't put all the eggs in the same basket. You never know what could happen. That's the prelim headliner, and we're smelling a submission. Let's go. Let's go. Ryan spawned in. Ryan spawned in because we got Ryan Spann versus Marcus Buchecha. My real name is Ryan. If you didn't know, now you know. People that have received PayPals seen my real name. It's Ryan. Razor sharp Ryan. Joseph is the forecast name. It goes better with Fight Fiend Forecast. Joseph. And I didn't want people knowing my real name. But Ryan is my real name. And we're breaking down Ryan Spann. I spawned in real fast there. And this one could end real fast. Looking at Ryan here, he's fun to watch. He has the Superman tattoo. And that's kind of what triggered me into his fight style. Him being a finisher as well. He has 14 submissions, 6 knockouts. And on the other side, he delivers fun. Knocked out 5 times, submitted 3 times, and he's 3 for 3 via decision. Very, very rarely will we see him go to a decision in this fight. Could be live. Buchecha's new to the UFC, and he didn't finish his last fight. He lost via decision, if I'm not mistaken. And Buchecha might have a hard time finishing UFC caliber fighters. He's new to the UFC. He went to a draw with Kennedy Nzechukwu, Marcus Buchecha did in his last fight. And his first fight was a loss to Martin Buday. On the regional scene, he had a lot of chokes, a heel hook, rear naked choke, north-south choke. So I am going to lead in the submission once again, kind of like Rodolfo Vieira. But the problem is, and it's the same problem that I have with Rodolfo Vieira, if he can't get the fight to the ground, he's in maybe some serious danger. And probably more danger than Rodolfo Vieira is on the feet, because Ryan has more power than the opponent for Rodolfo Vieira, right? In this fight, Ryan Spann has way more power on the feet. He has a higher chance to get the knockout rather than Rodolfo Vieira's opponent, Eric McConico. So this is a tougher fight if Buchecha can't get it to the ground. I expect him to, but Ryan only has 3 submission losses. He's more chinny, and I don't think Buchecha's landing anything crazy on the feet. This could be a live underdog spot, but hey, Ryan has not beat anyone too great. Lucas Brzeski was not a great win in his last fight. Ovin St. Preux was very washed and old before that. And then it was just a whole lot of red and losses for Ryan in the UFC, and he was near getting cut. He went and took a loss to Anthony Smith, split decision. It was a horrible look. He got choked out round 1 to Nikita Krylov, knocked out round 2 to Guzkov, and Waldo Cortez-Acosta. It was a tough run for Ryan Spann in this fight. You know, he ended up knocking out Dominic Reyes round 1, 20-22, but Dominic Reyes, his chin, not the best either. Hard to say if that was a good win or not. He did beat Ion Cutelaba with a guillotine round 1. It's just a weird career for Ryan. Tough to call his fights where Marcus is new to the UFC. We know if he can get a takedown, it could be soon over. He's very good on the ground. All round 1 finishes for Buchecha as well. But Ryan might just have the power on the feet. This is a very dangerous fight. I'm going with the submission for Buchecha, but a hedge bet wouldn't be bad on Ryan Spann here. He has a lot of UFC fights. He's 9-6 in the UFC, where Buchecha's fighting his 3rd fight. Kind of like Gage Young last week, Buchecha could be making serious improvements. He is a little bit older, but Ryan has been submitted before. He has shown us little fights before and needing a lot of motivation. Where Marcus won't need the motivation, he's going to be very solid, and his wrestling could be much improved. 1 takedown, all it takes. I'm going Buchecha's submission here. Can't trust in Superman, but this is going to be a fun fight. Not shocked if he can win to start off the main card. I'm not going to be shocked. This is going to be one hell of a fight. I'm leaning submission for Buchecha. Knockout Ryan Spann. Pick your poison. Tune in for this one. I'm probably going live for the whole main card at the Apex. Once again, 3-hour stream, whole main card, maybe the whole event. Let me know what you would like to see. Whole event live stream, main card live stream. We're doing it once again. Check out the previous live stream from UFC Winnipeg. Went live for the whole main card. It was a ton of fun. Someday I will do the whole event. Could be this weekend. So tune in, stay forecasted. Let's turn it up a notch. We got Montel Jackson, Raoni Barcelos, and Montel's coming off a split decision loss in Brazil to Devison Figueiredo. He has a great record of 15-3, a lot of decision wins, but against the lower level competition like Rani Yaha, he finds the knockout, right? In this fight, he is a little bit younger, 4 years younger than Raoni Barcelos, but Barcelos has high level experience. He's 21-5, and it's hard to count out the fighter pushing 39. He's not even too old. He's not showing us too much of a decline. Tough to fade him. The only reason why I will, though, is because he's so hot right now in the UFC. He's on a 4-fight win streak, and at some time he will start to fade. You never know when that could be. Montel Jackson looking to get back into the win column off a tough loss, split decision in Brazil. Before that, he beat Daniel Marcos undefeated and beat Julio Arce by a decision. That was 3 years, 5 months ago, the Julio Arce win. But with the strikers, not just grapplers, he seems to do pretty good. If it's going toe-to-toe, I think Montel Jackson can be defensively sound enough to get it done. But the only problem is he's going to have to defend a couple takedowns, I would say, in this fight from Raoni Barcelos. Might be tough to do considering his last fight, a shorter fighter was able to get him down, control him for a bit, and it went to a split decision. I thought Montel won. He kind of got robbed, but sometimes he doesn't do enough in his fights, where Raoni Barcelos is constantly pushing forward. This isn't a pick I love a whole lot, not looking at betting, so I'm just kind of telling you as I'm fading Raoni Barcelos. At some point, he's going to start to fade, but hey, he is looking good. He's on a 4-fight win streak. He took out Peyton Talbot, Cody Garbrandt, Ricky Simone. It just feels like Montel Jackson will be too much on the feet, too calculated, and hungry for a win off a loss. But with that being said, I'm not confident. Raoni Barcelos could still have it, and he could still be hot. He won his last 4. We got another newcomer who just fought Mark Vologdin, won a unanimous decision versus him, and he's making his debut. He's 30 years old. He has a lot of experience, 17-1, and he gets handed Davey Grant, 40 years old, tail end of his career, lost his last fight to Charles Jourdain. But Davey Grant beat Damone Blackshear unanimous decision and Ramon Tavares unanimous decision before that. For an old fighter, he's not really slowing down either. I think he can do damage later in the fight. I think he has great cardio for his age, and he's really not slowing down. He hasn't really shown it. He got caught in a guillotine in his last fight. That's not really showing us that he's slowing down. Daniel Marcos went to a split decision with Davey Grant. Davey Grant is very good. He has a submission recently. It was 3 years ago. To Sun Sao or not, he made it shine and got the inverted triangle choke. Late in fights, he has a couple round 3 finishes. Martinetti here might have beat Vlogdin on Dana White Contender Series, but before that, he beat a debut fighter, an 8-3 fighter, 13-10, and 12-4. So the level of competition is pretty scarce on the other side. Adrian Luna Martinetti is making improvements at 30 quick. He's at a decent gym, but Davey Grant is very dangerous. It's his nickname, and he does not seem to be slowing down. He's an underdog. I've yet to pick one. I do think he's grown as an underdog. It opened as a coin flip. People are leaning Martinetti. I think Tapology has 55% on Martinetti. A little bit of money coming his way. I will take the other side with dangerous Davey Grant with the UFC experience, kind of like Mandel Nallo versus Jai Herbert. I could see it going down the same way. Maybe not round 1, probably round 3. Davey Grant's going to go out, lose round 1, and he's going to slowly come back into round 2 and 3, finding a finish. I think Martinetti's taking a big step up in competition. Debuts just aren't going great in 2026. And dangerous Davey Grant's too dangerous for me to pick against him at this number. Although he's 40, he's not slowing down too much yet. He has 5 submission losses, Davey Grant, but Martinetti isn't a big grappler. Out of those 17 wins, he has 6 submissions, 7 decisions, 4 knockouts, very low-level competition. He's not submitting guys like Davey Grant. Nowhere's close. Maybe Davey's really fallen off a cliff at 40 and he's completely done, but he just got caught round 1 to Charles Jourdain. Other than that, he came off 2 nice wins, a split decision loss, and 2 wins before that where he finished the fight in round 3. He has a lot of fire in him, especially later in the fight. His cardio is great. He comes in shape where Martinetti's going to come with the jitters, making his debut. Small octagon. Davey Grant has room to work. Doesn't have much room to work. It's a smaller octagon, smaller quarters, so it's going to be more dangerous. So there's not more room to work. There's less room to work with. It could get very dangerous in there with less room. What was I going to say? Martinetti, looking at Davey Grant, 8-7 in the UFC. He has a ton of UFC experience. And I mean, just a tough debut for Martinetti here. His record looks really good. Diving deep. Level of competition, not very good. 25-10, 3-4, 9-12, 2-3, 0-1, 2-3, 6-6, 1-0, 1-5, 1-0, debuting. He's never really took a step up in competition. He's never really fought guys that were high level. He fought at FFC, UWC, MMA Mexico, Budo Cento Championship. Yeah, I'm going Davey Dangerous Grant. I'm ending the prediction. We're in for a damn good fight either way. Hopefully Martinetti sees more love, becomes more of a favorite, and then I can officially lock in Davey Grant Dog of the Week. We're going to need plus money here to lock him in as a Dog of the Week. I'm not giving him out at plus 100 as Underdog of the Week, but he seems like the only underdog I'm taking this week. Spoiler alert for the next 3 picks. We're taking Alexander Hernandez over Rafa Garcia. Rafa Garcia won his last 2 fights. Won his last one by knockout as well. But the gifted Rafa Garcia, in my opinion, isn't that gifted. His skills aren't as good as Alexander Hernandez, who shows up more in shape, has more power on the feet, and has a good takedown defense. Rafa Garcia, if he can't get the takedowns going, which I don't expect him to, he's going to have a tough time on the feet. He got that knockout late round 3 to Jared Gordon. Seemed like a lucky spot to land that. He's not going to do that each and every fight, and he rarely gets the knockout. Looking at Rafa Garcia, that was his first knockout. His second, right? He's not going to do that again. Hernandez knocked out his last 2 opponents, and he won 2 decisions starting his 4-fight win streak. Hernandez has the cardio, the power, and it's tough to go against him here, although he was very inconsistent at the start of his UFC career. He's more filled into the UFC career now, and he's looking pretty good. On a 4-fight win streak, I think he's bound to make it 5. He's favored to win this fight too, and training at high altitude, having that experience, the cardio is really there. He's showing up in shape, and the weight cut doesn't seem to be as much as an issue as it used to be. He is at 155 here now. It still could be a tougher weight cut for Alexander Hernandez rather than Rafa Garcia. So later in the fight, you never know. It could be a round 3 finish for Rafa Garcia. I do believe Hernandez is going to be a lot better early in the fight. He's going to steal the rounds early rather than late. So the comeback push will be on the toughness from Rafa Garcia if he's still standing. If he's still standing late in the fight, he might have more cardio. He might be pushing harder. But hey, Hernandez has been at elevation. I got to trust in him to stay consistent now in the UFC and pick up another win. Tough to really trust him as a lock of the week, but it seems like a lock of the week spot, and I'm going to be sprinkling some money on him this week and some parlays. We're going with Alexander Hernandez over Rafa Garcia in the Apex. And we're also taking the dump truck Norma Dumont in the Apex over Jocelyn Edwards. Both on a win streak. Dumont, though, tough to see a finish on her win streak. A lot of decision wins, and they're all unanimous. Her last one was a split decision, but a lot of these wins are unanimous. She's winning upwards of 80 to 90% of the fight. And the problem is, she gets a finisher now, Jocelyn Edwards. In the division, we don't see many finishers. In women's MMA, we don't see a whole lot of finishers. And now we see El Pantra, Jocelyn Edwards, picking up a submission win, a knockout win, another knockout win, and a submission win. Very well-rounded, too. Super well-rounded. Knocked out Chelsea Chandler, that fat slob. And then the zombie girl was able to submit Nora Cornhole and Tamir's Vidal. Level of competition, meh. But she's pulling it off and getting the finish. And she's looking fantastic. So really not a bad underdog pick here. The line is close. Hopefully it can grow because I like Norma Dumont. I expect her to win a large percentage of the fight, and it would have to be a finish to ruin it. 4 wins in a row, underdog. I don't know if Jocelyn Edwards is going out here and getting another finish. She's looked great in her last couple fights, but this is a big step up in competition. I expect her to get taken down and controlled majority of the fight, like she did in prior losses. Versus Alin Perez, she really struggled with the wrestling and takedowns. That was her last loss. So in this one, which could be her most next recent loss, I think she gets taken down and controlled. I think there's going to be some dog in Norma Dumont. This is an easier fight for her than previous fights, realistically. And maybe she can finish Jocelyn Edwards and flip the script. Flip the script. Flip the script. The dump truck should dominate, and I like the price this week. I would like to see the number to grow, a little bit of sharp action to come in, and the odds to move down to give me even more confidence. I don't mind laying the chalk, parlaying it. I'd love to see the line movement. It gives me a little extra confidence. Look at Robert Valentin, who went from the underdog to favorite last week, and I talked about it before. There's been a lot of close odds, or the odds did not reflect what Tapology was saying. So if it's a spot like this and we see money come in on Norma Dumont, most certainly you could see me taking her as a lock of the week this week. I think she dominates majority of the fight, and it really is a finish that's going to steal a win away from her. Co-main event, one hell of a fight in the women's bantamweight division. The winner will move on to maybe see a title fight in the future. Just like in the main event. Aljamain Sterling Could see another title fight in the future. And on the other side, the Moroccan Devil wants a title shot. His first title shot in the UFC. Aljo's been there and done that. Aljo is now in a new weight class. Aljo might be past his prime. He's off a win to Brian Ortega, but he's not able to finish these guys. When was the last time Aljo had a finish? It was TJ Dillashaw, who was hurt in that fight. And before that, it was an illegal knee. Corey Sandhagen submission win round 1. Yeah, not many finish wins for Aljo in his whole career. He has 13 decisions, 3 knockouts, and 8 submissions. A couple sub wins. Lower level competition. Someone was hurt in his most recent finish win, and that was a knockout from back mount, not even a submission. The last guy he submitted was Corey Sandhagen, and that was a long time ago, 6 years ago. So I think the finishing upside from what we have seen recently, recency bias is on Youssef Zalal, no doubt. And looking at their ages, Youssef Zalal must have the energy and the gas tank in this fight. Aljo doesn't have to cut the weight like he was at bantamweight, but he's had more of a career, more wear and tear throughout his career, and his strength of schedule isn't that strong. You know, he gets handed Mosvar. He took the loss unanimously, and then he beat Brian Ortega, who didn't really look the best in that fight. His other win was Calvin Kattar, who didn't look too great in that fight. And Aljo was still unable to find the finish. I know Zalal wasn't able to find Calvin Kattar, but I feel like we've seen just a better version of Calvin Kattar in the Zalal fight. And then Zalal went out there versus Josh Emmett and got a round 1 choke, which we did not expect. Also, Gennaro Aarons got choked out round 1. Not the best fighter in the UFC. I think he's cut now, but Zalal did what he was supposed to do. Billy Q, his return to the UFC, Zalal did what he was supposed to do. He got the choke round 2. Jack Shore, a step up in competition. Very good win. Ended up choking him out again round 2. So Zalal's been doing what he's supposed to do since coming back. He's yet to lose since re-entering the UFC. He has a lot of motivation. You can see it in his fights. He really wants UFC gold. He said it before. Aljo's already been there and done that. He's already tasted it. He's already set up financially. I just think Zalal has the grit, the motivation to go out here and do what it takes to win. Unanimous decision. Use every round to win the fight. I think Zalal can do it. Use the kickboxing. I think Zalal will be the better striker. I think he can land more volume, a better striking percentage. His accuracy is going to be way better than Aljamain Sterling, who on the feet is a fish out of the water. Aljamain Sterling really needs the wrestling and the control, not just wrestling. He can't just get a takedown or 2 and win the fight. He needs the control time. He needs to do damage off those takedowns. And from what we've seen recently from Aljo, he's just holding guys down and being boring. The judges are not going to score that, especially when you got the Moroccan Devil on the other side, someone they're trying to push in a main event. It's the changing of the guard type of year. It just is. And now it's time to check out the links and stay forecasted throughout the week. We're probably going live again during the fights, during the main card after the prelims. I'll pop on the live stream and do live reactions, commentary, stuff like that. Friday we are live once again, 9 p.m. Eastern Time, giving out $50. So stay forecasted on the show. Fight Fiend Forecast is here. If you want the bets, check out the links in that description below. If you want in for free, in the link in the description below, you will see Discord. Discord, that link will offer you access to a bunch of channels, along with Prelim Tim, the Prelim King, and the Knicks Licks. NBA Finals are here. The NBA playoffs, you got to check out the Knicks Licks for free in Discord. Prelim Tim is giving out his UFC picks and predictions. A bunch of hard work is getting put into Discord right now. Check it out for free. Links are in the description below. If you want the bets on Patreon, become a Platinum Forecaster, F3 baby, in Discord. Your name will change to a different color and you will unlock all channels once you become a Platinum Forecaster on Patreon. F3's betting on all sports, and we're going to crank it up after taking a couple L's. Time to get back into the win column, boys and gals.
We are back, baby. We are fucking back. We are back. Yeah. Classic. We are back. We are back.